Right. I'll also chip in. Madhujit, actually, there's been one more trend which is coming up. I mean, apart from the COVID part of it, because over the last few years, the economy has been such that most countries have become a little concerned about their own citizens. Okay, and so most companies have started to improve, and the visa rules are very apparent now that they want to protect the local citizens, and so the expat rules are only for those which are not available within the country. So yes, because it's becoming a level playing ground, so the kind of jobs which will be open will be only for specialists, not so much for generalists. Another thing which I noticed in the last 2 3 months is because of the pandemic and because of the uncertainty on how soon this will get over, I recently had a call from a CEO of an investment bank in California. None of their senior professionals are willing to travel internationally in the next few months. But that doesn't mean that the business deals will stop, because right now this pandemic has hit across the world. The startup companies are struggling with working capital. There are a whole lot of other companies who want to invest in such kind of companies. So there are some deals. And what I see is maybe the permanent job part of it will go down, but there will be a hybrid demand. And there'll be demand for a lot more interim management roles, because this client of mine was saying that they might need to look at people from 3 months to 18 months of employment. And all that perhaps increases the dependence on global recruiters like us, because once we collaborate, okay, we are actually trying to orchestrate a network. It's not just finding global migration kind of people. It's probably even getting the best people in each of these countries. Yeah. So, I mean, I hope we've answered it, Madhujit. There's a message from Aditya. Aditya Vivuhu, okay, NPA partner. So he says, hi, AK, and hi, Carola. Okay. And yeah, I think we have almost 45 minutes. So we've covered your childhood, the transition from a professional to consulting, the life as an expat or a global citizen, if I may correct true. You've touched topics about the collaboration of future global business, and then you did share some information about the NPA experience. So are there any advice for professionals who now are in the mid-career? So especially with this talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning and stuff like that, where do you see how can mid-career professionals benefit from this? Any advice to them?
Well, I think artificial intelligence is great for doing pre-selection and doing routine tasks that, so it can work towards the individual and towards the person. We've seen on multiple occasions where AI develops a gradual bias, which sort of, it's like an aircraft going, half a degree off course, and sort of eventually it ends up somewhere completely different where it was supposed to go. So there's that risk. And I think for the time being, the human touch is still required, especially in assessing management quality people, where it is not just crucial that they have the right technical skills and they tick all the right boxes in the job spec, but they also, they have to interact with other people. So for now, I think we are not competing for jobs with AI. But obviously what it means is it's a changing world, and there will be less and less requirements sort of for manual workforce. But if I think back, like in Indonesia, we were going to automate some of the processes. And my boss there said, well, he said, the salaries are such that actually it is more economical to get a person to stand there and do this rather than buying an expensive machine. So I think we need to balance, and depending on workforce available and depending on salary levels, it may be advisable to stay on a more I would say basic manufacturing methods. And I mean, traditionally, the apparel industry has always been the one first into new markets because it's not that capital intensive. All you need is a sewing machine and a space, and then, you buy yarns and fabrics and you get a big table and some scissors and off you go. True. It's, and I really think that, whilst our world is changing and we have to continue learning and we have to continue to develop ourselves. I mean, who would have thought, even 2-3 years ago that you and I would have, a live broadcast, organized by you? I mean,
why 2-3 weeks back? Absolutely.